Good morning, everyone. How are you this morning? It is Monday, April the 20th. Alrighty, back to Monday again. It's Make a Card Monday. It's Debbie Scott here, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Brigden, Ontario. And just bring it up on my iPad here and make sure everything looks good. I think it does. There we go. Okay, so this week, or today I guess, I'm playing with the Global Design Project Challenge. And this week is Case the Designer, Wendy Weixler. And I love her card, super pretty. She's done some paper piecing for her flowers, and I'm going to do a little bit of paper piecing as well because I really like that idea. Looks cute. Yeah, so that is what we're going to be working on today. When I look at a card like this and I'm using it for inspiration, we're casing the card, which means copy and share everything, or there's a few different acronyms for it. What you want to do is kind of pick out your favorite elements of the card. So I really liked that they had the two layers and they're kind of offset so that you can see the layer behind. I really liked that. I also liked the paper piecing, so I'm going to do a little bit of that as well. And I'm keeping it the same, like the portrait layout. I'm keeping it pretty much the same, a little bit different. You shall see. That's what we're working with today. And I wanted to show you a new product. I have a little kitty cat hair there, coming out in May. And this is absolutely beautiful. I don't know how well it's going to come across on video here, but there is some shimmer. I don't know if shimmer's the right word. It shows a reflection. It's iridescent almost. I think you can kind of see it there, hey, on the bottom of the papers. So this is a new 6x6 paper that's coming out. There are 6 different patterns. And I believe you get quite a few. I think you get 8 of each pattern. Each little sunset there. So nice. And then on the back, we have just some solids. Well, not quite solid, but more basic. Beautiful. So these two are kind of the same pattern, and then these two are kind of the same, and these two. So I decided to use this one because it's my favorite. So that's the one I'm going to use today. And I am pairing it with something that you might not normally think to pair a water-themed paper with. I'm going to pair it with Delicate Whispers. I really love this one. I love the die cuts that come with it. I love this little floral image, and we're going to use this little image here as well. So the first thing that we want to do is, I'm going to bring in my card base. I went with white. This is a thick Whisper white card base, standard size. So you're just going to take one full sheet and cut it in half. So it is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Just going to grab a little drink. I had to move my cup because my lovely kitty was coming down and drinking out of it. Little stinker that he is. So I just had to set it over on the other counter where I don't think he goes. I hope not. Anyhow, then I've pulled in a Secret C layer, and I have embossed that with this embossing folder, which is on the retired list. I forgot to check this morning, but as of last week, it was still available. So I have pulled that in, and it is, what size is that? I did it kind of an odd size. Let's see here. It's hard to see, but I did it 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So a lot of times our layer is 4 by 5 1/4. But I did this layer and my top layer the same size because I wanted to do this where it's kind of sticking out here. So I wanted to give myself a little bit more room. So that's why I went with just a little bit smaller. So it's got more room to kind of angle there on the front without going way over. We still want it to fit inside the envelope. So then I've taken this piece here and I have cut off some on each sides, a little bit off the top and just a smidgen off the bottom to create my next layer, which, as I mentioned, is the exact same size as my Secret C. So I'm just going to offset it like that, put it on a bit of an angle, and layer that on the front of my card. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I like lots of dimension on my cards. Most of my cards are hand delivered. I do mail some. I honestly haven't had a ton of problem yet at the post office with them being too thick. But that's not to say that you won't have problem. You could. I don't know. You never know with the postal system, hey? So I'm going to layer that down like that. And I'm going to do the same here. One thing I will try to avoid is getting that dimensional in exactly the same spot. So these ones I will bring in a little bit more. That will help with, actually, I'll go like that. That will help with the thickness if you are worried about that, if you're sending it in the mail. Just gonna pop those dimensional backings off. I think I missed this one. I did. There we go. Oh, we want to make sure we get it right side up. I do like how she has distressed the sides of hers. I didn't do that today, but that is something that I will do every now and then. All right, so then I have taken this stamp here, stamped it on white in Secret C. So there's not any Secret C in this paper pack. Let me read the colors to you. There is Balmy Blue, Blueberry Bushel, Crushed Curry, Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, and Strawberry Slush. So I would say, I really thought there was navy in here, because this is pretty dark, but they must be calling that Blueberry Bushel. But in this sheet here, there wasn't any of that blue color. So that's why I felt I could bring in that Secret C and it would coordinate nicely. It would still match. If I was using, say, this one, it might not quite look as good because it's not the same. If I was using this one, I would probably use a Blueberry Bushel or maybe even a navy. I would have to see how it looks with that in my background instead of Secret C. I just really like Secret C, and because there wasn't any blues on this sheet, I went ahead and used it. So I've stamped that and then die cut it. And then I also die cut one of these sprigs. I'm actually not sure what, I did this one. No, did I? No. Yes, that one there. These two are similar. They're the same, but they go in opposite directions. So yeah, I've used this one here. And I die cut that in Secret C as well. This is going to go underneath like this. So I think I can lay that down. I'm just going to use a glue dot for this. This is going to be a fairly quick card because I did so much of it ahead of time. I'm going to put that about there. My glue dot is showing there, but that's okay because we're kind of going to cover it up anyway. There we go. I'm going to use a glue dot here on the stems, and then I'm going to put a dimensional on the back here. And I am using my mini dimensionals so that they fit a little bit better. So I'm going to put that there. So as you can see, we covered up that glue dot from our die cut. Can't see that. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do, I think I have it here. Oh, you know what? Shoot, I did make a mistake. I want to stamp on my background here. Oh man, I don't know if I should stamp right there. Let me think about this for a minute. I want to stamp Hello Friend, which is from this one as well, Delicate Whispers. I want to stamp Hello Friend on there. Should I try it? Where is my silicone mat? I was gonna... I was thinking if I stuck my silicone mat underneath, that might work. That might help anyway. Well, I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work, we will have to do some card surgery. Let's see. So I'm using Secret C. This is just a little ink spot that came in one of the kits. I don't know if it was a paper pumpkin or a card kit or something. And I just use it. It works great. Okay, so I'm trying to get it straight. Oh, look at that. Almost perfect. Looks, the L's look a little wonky, but I'm going to call that a win. Because we're stamping on all those layers, the dimensional layers. Yeah, excellent. Okay. So make sure you stamp your greeting on there before you layer your papers. Then we are going to take a piece of white and we're going to stamp this little flower and leaf image. On here like this. And there is a die to die cut that. So you would use that, die cut it out. Then this is where our paper piercing is going to come into play. I've got a little ink on my fingers. I'm going to take a piece of the purple. So this is just the backing off of my paper here, this side, I guess. I'm just going to turn it over and I'm going to use the back. And I'm going to stamp that flower again. I don't necessarily need the leaves and the little sprig. I just want the flower. I'm going to line it up with some of those little white splatters because I really like that. Then we are going to fussy cut out that flower. So for paper piecing, pardon me, you want to cut right on that outline. Normally when we fussy cut an image, we stay back a little ways from the line. And we leave a little space. But for this, I'll try to speed up a little bit. I am a slow fussy cutter. For this, you want to cut right on the line. So you might not have it exactly the same all the way around, but because you've got your outline image here on the white, you're not going to notice it at all if it's not perfect. So I apologize that I take a while to do this, but it is what it is. I'm going to cut on that line. All the way around. Almost done. How was everyone's weekend? I had a nice weekend actually. Went for lunch with my dad on Saturday and my sister and some other people too. There we go. And then Sunday I went to a crafting event, so that was nice. It was a good weekend. Okay, so then once we've got that, I'm just going to take a little bit of white glue. So now remember, you have already fussy cut or die cut yours out, okay? I just didn't do that for sake of time. So we want to make sure this is lined up the same. And we're going to lay that down. Now you may say, Debbie, wouldn't it be a whole lot easier just to color that in purple? Probably it would be on this specific image. I liked the white splatter on there, so I didn't have to go through that and wait for it to dry. So that is a little bit quicker. If you had a bigger image, then it would be maybe quicker to do the paper piecing. But that is how you do that. I just want to show you, just cut close to that outline or right on that outline and then glue it on there. And then I also went ahead and did some yellow, which is the back of this one. I did yellow for the leaves because there's no green in this paper. I didn't want to bring in another color. I didn't want to bring in a green because I thought it would look better using the colors in this suite. So I went ahead and used yellow for that. Now I did bring in some Gorgeous Grape ribbon. This is just some retired Gorgeous Grape sheer ribbon that I had in my stash. I like to use things in my stash, so look through, find a ribbon that coordinates with the paper that you're using. And I just cut it in half just to add a little bit of interest to that. I'm going to lay that down first. So I'm going to use a glue dot for that. This bow might cause a little issue with the post office, just saying. That, and then I have taken a piece of white twine and made a little bow out of that. I'm just going to lay that right on top. And then I'm going to lay my flower down with some dimensionals. I think I'll use minis because I want to go on either side here. So I'm not going to put a dimensional right in the center. I just want it on each edge. Might even, it's sticking to the ribbon, and that's okay. That will help it hold on. Might even want 2 dimensionals, but I think it's gonna stay there. Yeah. But yeah, you could put one on top of another to make it a little bit thicker, because I do have quite a big bow there. But I think that's gonna work. Excellent. Okay. So there is our card for today using that beautiful new paper, which comes out the beginning of May. I don't remember the exact date. I forget. And we've done some paper piecing there. And we have cased Wendy Weixler today. I think that, I'm not sure exactly how to say that. There we go. Thanks so much for joining me. If you like my card, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. It helps with the algorithms. And I will see you next week. Have a good day. Bye.